cup of tea. The purpose live, it's time to feast with BLT icon, bringing you the heat. Static on the dial and the crackle in the air, feeling like a rebel in the days wear and tear.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the BRP Podcast. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. It is officially the second day of fall. And here in Wisconsin, we are starting to show some color in our trees, unfortunately. However, I do have, before we get started on anything, I do have a public service announcement for you guys, okay? So I need you to know it's very important, all right? Like super important. I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know where the Magic School Bus currently is? Because it could be inside of your ass right now and you would have no idea. Okay? So just be careful of where that Magic School Bus is, everybody. Nobody actually knows where it is. It could be in some sort of weird science thing in your anus. So anyway, welcome to the burp. We're full of it. You guys know that by now. All 32 subscribers you are out there. You guys are funny.
36.
36. Oh my God.
And thank you to the new Instagram followers and the new YouTube subscribers and TikTok.
So again, public service announcement. Just keep an eye out where that bus might be, okay? Worried about you guys. But I'm not worried about those. What you're drinking. Luca, start us off. What are you drinking today?
I'm going to start off with Heineken, and I'm going to finish with some Pacifico.
Okay. All right. Well, straight to it, right to the point. Billy, what are you drinking today?
I got this mineral water still from Labor Day weekend, that whole case that we bought that I'm trying to drink through.
So
Okay. Hey,
It's
that
good.
is all right.
It's good.
What kind of mineral water is that?
It's Costco brand, so it's
Costco
kind of
brand,
like
okay.
the I can't remember the name of it. What's that green stuff? The
Perrier? Or
Yeah,
is
something like that,
something like that? Okay.
it's the Costco version of it. I don't have it concocted, but it is really good if you dump it over ice and like squirt a lime in it.
Oh, that sounds good. All right.
do we do a franchise bench cut, Perrier, Topo Chico, and that stuff?
Hey, you know
a
what?
special one just for Billy?
I've only had
we
this,
might.
so this is franchise all the way.
Hose water. That's my franchise right there. Citywide fluoride in it. Speaking of water, I am being the guy today. I just have water in my cup. So it's my first week off from drinking at the Burp Bar. So I'm going to be the DD today.
Here you go. I'll join in. I'll drink some water too.
All right. Very cool. Well, you know what? We got a good episode today for you guys. We want to talk about some very important things. It was absolutely a crazy week in the NFL. There has been some movement in Major League Baseball. So first things first, why don't we talk about our news and notes from the NFL over the weekend? Let's get started with, obviously we know that the NFL is riddled with injuries every year. Unfortunately, we lose a lot of good players. I don't think the human bodies were meant to go as fast and to be as strong as they are. And for all this to happen, things just, they blow up, whether it's an Achilles, whether it's an ACL. Some of the big names I'll bring up, and I want you guys to kind of touch on them, who you think might be the biggest impact loss to their team, who can step up, who's the next man up. Some of the ones that I want to talk about, though, obviously, I think one of the biggest ones out there is going to be Nick Bosa for the 49ers. The 49ers are basically made out of paper mache anyway, and here they're losing another guy. So he was a big one. Najee Harris for the Chargers went down with a Achilles tear, so he's out for the year. But that does spell more reps for Omari and Hampton. CeeDee Lamb, his injury looked way worse than what it ended up being. I thought he had one of those fractures like Dak had, a compound. Looks like he's just going to be out 3 to 4 weeks with a sprained ankle. You might see him on IR. Then Mike Evans, hammy, that puts his 1,000-yard season streak at risk if he's going to be out 4 weeks. Terry McLaurin, some of these other guys. So, Billy, I want to start with you. Talk to me about who you think maybe is the biggest impact loss, and who's the next man up for them?
Well, disappointed in our Packers, which is why I'm repping the Bucs today.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with Mike Evans just because of exactly like what you said. His 1,000-yard receiving streak is on the line. I think he said he's gonna miss. Was it 3 to 4 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, 4 weeks about.
Okay, yeah. So I mean that's huge. He's been such a constant in that offense for years, but I'm really surprised with that Emeka Ubuka, if I'm saying that wrong, whatever. But
Egbuka, I think.
number 2 on the Buccaneers, I think from Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Man, he's really stepped up for being a rookie. And last week's game, I mean, when Baker again drove down the field and led that game-winning drive,
3 straight games.
Guy one hand caught. I mean, he's playing well.
And that other pass, he did catch that. In my opinion, the one that they called he was out of bounds, I thought he caught that. He had his left foot down. Then he got control of it. Left foot was still down. Then he dragged his right foot. So I think it was a catch, even though it was called back. But they still did win. So keep going. Sorry, I needed to interject because yeah, you're right. He's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're all big injuries, and then I won't say anymore. I'll kick it to Luca so I don't steal any of his thoughts.
All right, Luca, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with what you said with Ibuka. Great one. I think a big hurt for a team that's already lacking is going to be James Conner out for the season.
That's a big one.
Who do they have? Like Eno Benjamin is the backup, and then I don't even know if they have. I think they're trying to like re-sign Emmitt Smith or Adrian James from back in the day or something like that.
Oh
Like,
man,
that'd
be awesome.
Who do they have? Like, if you don't have a run game, you have nothing. And Kyler Murray, who knows what he's doing half the time, he misses Marvin Harrison Jr. so much. So, I think that one's going to hurt for them. I know all of the Cardinals fans think they're going to win the division. I don't think so anymore.
No, there's no way they win that division. Sorry, Cardinals fans, I can't join that one with you guys. I even believe that the 49ers are going to be good, and that includes the loss of a Nick Bosa. I think they're going to be okay. Nick Bosa is obviously a great player, great defensive end. I mean, offensive coordinators have to actually try to game plan around how are you going to block Nick Bosa. It's going to be a big loss for them, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to win that division. They're probably going to be a wild card division winner in my thoughts. So Nick Bosa, big loss. Not too concerned about that. Not too concerned about Najee Harris. I think the one that you kind of might need to watch out for is the Terry McLaurin. He's going to get a second opinion. And I do think this one has a chance to be a hit to Jaden Daniels too, who also missed last week. So if Jaden Daniels is out for a few more weeks and all of a sudden Terry McLaurin's out for a few weeks, you got Marcus Mariota throwing to Deebo Samuel. Ugh. That doesn't feel like that's going to get you anywhere near the Philadelphia Eagles in that division. And that's kind of a scary thought for them. So the Eagles obviously are going to be taking that division, no problem. The NFC East, probably one of the worst divisions in football. But I really think losing Terry McLaurin on top of Jaden Daniels, it's going to be a rough go for them. So, but again, big name injuries, they hurt. We get a lot of those every year. Somebody's out. A lot of big names are out on a lot of guys. So it's what do you guys think causes all these injuries to these players? I mean, we seem to be seeing a lot more. Do you think it could be the artificial turf and the synthetic turf with all the woven threads within the real grass? Do you think it could be just the speed and the body style and the muscles? Is there something out there that maybe we haven't thought of? What are you guys' thoughts on why these players are getting hurt at a higher rate? Billy, go ahead and start on this one.
Well, yeah, like you said, I think it's a combination of both. I think it is the artificial field. I mean, on some of those fields, you have a couple inches of that artificial padding, and underneath is just concrete. Or, then you add in just the players. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. I don't think the body is meant to take those kind of jukes. And I mean, unless I'd never paid attention when I was younger, I've never seen so many non-contact injuries before.
Right.
Of Achilles being blown out and knees being blown out just from trying to juke. So,
yeah,
game's evolved.
Luca, what are your thoughts?
I think it's those parlays we put together. People are falling left and right. First Burrow, we lost that parlay. Now it seems
That's
to be
right,
affecting
Burrow's
all
out
the
too.
playoff teams that we selected. It's going to be tough. I think we jinxed it a little bit there, but all reality, I got to agree with Billy on this one.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? That was a great off-topic thing there. So other news and notes here that we kind of want to talk about is we can see that the New York Giants are going to be starting Jackson Dart over Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. What are your thoughts? Do you think is this too early? Are they throwing him to the wolves here? Because you look at like a Patrick Mahomes who sat his rookie year except for one game. You know, Jordan Love sat for 3 years. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. You see some of these guys that are being thrown right into it, whether it's a Bryce Young or, you know, some of these like Caleb Williams. Is this too early for Jackson Dart, or are we thinking better things about Jackson Dart? Billy, give me your initial thoughts on, are they moving too soon? What's going on here with the Giants and their quarterback situation?
Well, you're seeing a lot of that in today's football. You're seeing the coaching just getting sick of not immediate success with these players that are signing. You saw it in Atlanta. You're seeing it now with the Giants. I watched that game, and Russell Wilson played like absolute garbage. I mean, that last drive,
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, the amount of times he just overthrew or just threw the ball away. I mean, the fans there, you can just hear the boo birds come out.
Yep.
And it was not good considering the week they had prior against the Cowboys when him and Neighbors lit it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of a shame. So maybe a little too fast, but in the NFL, it's a hard hole to climb out when you're 0-3.
Yes. Luca, what are your thoughts? Add to that.
Yeah, I mean, you can name so many great quarterbacks out there who sat a year. Look at Mahomes behind Cheeseburger and Alex Smith, getting a full year to learn. That was huge. And I'm just trying to think of guys who've come straight out of college and been successful. And I mean, you got to go to RG3. You got to go to Daniels. It's like one out of however many that are able to come out very first year and do good. And I just, with how much motion is in every single offense now, to click and be relevant that quickly, it's tough. You got to be doing something over the top to separate yourself, like Jaden Daniels did last year, playing simulating games in two times the speed. Like that's the only way you can kind of get a little bit of an edge to prep yourself. Otherwise, it's going to hit you really hard.
Sure. Well, talk about being hit really hard. I want to talk about Russell Wilson for a second and the fact that I think age or whatever, something caught up with him really hard. I'm going to ask the question to you guys. Is Russell Wilson done? Is he going to be relegated to a backup quarterback for the rest of his career in the NFL? Billy, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Russell Wilson? Is he done?
You know, if he was still playing the way he was in Denver, I'd say yes, absolutely. I don't want to say yes. I'm not really a Russell Wilson fan. Couldn't really care less either way. But I just like I just said, I just keep going back to that Cowboys game, really 2 games ago now, where he lit it up, where you see that little glimpse of peak Russell Wilson on the Seahawks. I feel like there's something left in the tank, but Giants just suck. I mean,
Dude,
look at Daniel Jones. Everybody
terrible.
wrote Daniel Jones off and laughed him out of New York, and now look at he's on a 3-0 Colts team and he's not playing that bad. So
he's playing good.
At some point, when do you blame the coaching or the organization itself?
There has to be a lot of that. Luca, what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson? I'm curious what you're going to say on this one.
Yeah, I want to say he could play for another team, but Giants are 0-3. What other team could he possibly go to and have some type of positive effect? Like, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I think he's a backup. Now. It's tough to say that a Super Bowl winning champ is gonna be a backup for the rest of his career, but there's no team that he could step on the field and make a positive influence on. I mean, with the Cowboys and Nub-ears, he was just throwing it up there. Or Nub-ears. He was just throwing it up there. And Nabir's was just running up there and grabbing it out of the air. So, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see him starting.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't see Russell Wilson as a starter anymore. I almost compare him to like the Carson Wentz that we saw with the Vikings, coming off the bench, being successful, right? And I think if Russell Wilson can embrace that role, he'll be able to extend his career. But I definitely don't think it's as a starting quarterback in the NFL anymore. And now the other side of that is you can't tell me some of these guys are better than a Russell Wilson, right? Are there 31 other quarterbacks better than Russell Wilson? There might be. It's hard to think of it when you start thinking like that. Like, are these guys actually better? Is Daniel Jones better than Russell Wilson? Like, say that out loud. It's come on. Is Michael Penix better than Russell Wilson? No, now let's bring this to. We talked a little bit about Kirk Cousins. Is Kirk Cousins on the move? Luca, you've heard some chatter. Enlighten us on what you've heard about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Falcons said we are okay with moving on Kirk Cousins. We understand that he comes with a steep price, but what we want in return is draft pick capital, in the value of the cap that we're going to eat, the salary we're going to eat for you to take him. Be honest, I think not many teams are going to do that. I think it would end up having to be some type of swap, like a Trevor Lawrence who has a bigger contract. Maybe he needs to get out of there. A Tua, maybe him, but it's hard to say. I just heard that chatter, so I don't know. If the Falcons are willing to eat all that salary and get top draft picks, what teams could use them, guys?
Yeah, Billy, I want to toss this one up to you. What do you think? Where would be a good landing spot for Kirk Cousins if he were to be traded by the Falcons?
Well, I worry about Kirk Cousins' contract.
Yes.
Whoever picks it up is taking a loss on it, on a 36-year-old quarterback or whatever he is.
Well, the Falcons would be eating the contract by the sounds of it, and they want top draft picks for him.
And I still feel like whoever's on the receiving end of that is taking a loss. Like, top draft picks for him. He's recovering from an injury. Did you mention the Dolphins, Luca?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Where else could he go? I don't know. Let me just think. Just trying to think of my shit-ass fantasy team. CJ Stroud, he sucks balls now. So
yeah,
he has regressed. He has definitely regressed.
I mean, he's like in the junior slump at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really agree that if anybody that could use him, I do agree with Luca. Like, Dolphins, why not? Because scrambled eggs brain isn't cutting it either.
Yeah, I don't even know who their backup is in Miami. So if there's anybody stupid enough to make the deal, it could be the Dolphins too. I love the Dolphins, but man, they are just struggling. So, well, speaking of people who are not struggling, I think we should talk about some 3-0 teams. There are a few of them going into that we have left. So the undefeated teams left in the NFL, going to bring them up right now. We got the Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Indianapolis Colts, the surprise we were talking about with Daniel Jones, the Philadelphia Eagles, also a surprise after what happened this weekend, the San Francisco 49ers, and then the Los Angeles Chargers, kind of hanging out there in the AFC West, just kind of letting everybody beat up on each other. And they're like, okay, we'll just keep winning. So let's talk about the undefeated teams that are left in the NFL. There's 6 of them. I know a lot of us believe the Packers should be one of them yet. We'll get to that in a little bit because we're homers and we have to talk about that. So, but right now, I want to ask you guys, are there any, besides maybe what we've talked about already, any surprises to these undefeated teams, whether they're not one or whether they are one? Billy, let's start with you. Undefeated teams, any surprises going into this?
The Colts and Chargers, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So.
Yeah, I mean, Chargers, I mean, can't go wrong. I mean, with someone like Herbert that likes to chuck the ball, got a good coach, but the Colts were pretty awful last year. So for them to just like turn around with a new quarterback and be 3-0 is pretty impressive.
Agreed. Luca, let's get your thoughts. Any surprises here?
I mean, Colts pulled the good karma thing by having Billy's best friend sing his anthem. Like, nah. Like, come on, man.
Damn.
So that was something. As far as not being 3-0, oh man, yeah, I don't. Everybody who's lost a game probably deserved to lose. Simple as that.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Let me ask you guys a question about this. And we're going to get to this now. I was going to save it for a little bit later. It's one of those things that I think this question needs to be asked. And it is, are the Browns better than we think? I'll bring this up because they did push the Ravens a little bit in week 2, I believe. And then they
were getting smoked. They put in Dylan Gabriel at them.
But the first half, they were hanging with the Ravens, right?
Mm.
It was the second half that they kind of got blown out there. But their defense coming into week 3 was ranked number 1. They do have a pretty good defense over there. If they can get their offense clicking and their new running back, their second-round pick, he showed a lot this last week against the Packers. Not saying they should be 3-0 by no means, but they could, had they played a little bit. They could be a 2-1, sitting in a better position than what they are. So are the Browns better than we think? And that's a scary thought. Billy, what are your thoughts? Are they? I saw you guys kind of shaking your head now. So tell me what you're thinking.
Well, my answer was a hard no until you kind of pleaded your case. I mean, you have Flacco, an experienced Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback. You have Myles Garrett in a defensive, juggernaut of a player. Playing against the Ravens, I feel like they always give a Ravens a run for their money. It's always the old Browns versus the new Browns, and they have some chip on their shoulder. So I'm going to say no. Fuck the Browns.
Okay. All right. That is fair. That's fair. Luca, what are your thoughts on this?
The Browns have the hardest schedule to start the year. The first 6 games are all against playoff teams. They drew the short end of the stick. Had they played anybody else the first 2 weeks, we would have been playing a 2-0 team. I think the only way, and they pointed this out during the game, the only way that the Browns hurt themselves is by saying, Flacco, you're our number 1 quarterback. They didn't say that all throughout preseason, and you could see it hurt him. He's not throwing the ball to Jerry Jeudy and to the guys he normally does. He just does the safe little dump down pass to a rookie tight end Fannin and checkdowns. That's all he's got is checkdowns right now. He doesn't have that chemistry. Isaiah Bond, man, that guy's going to be a receiver. He's just got to get that chemistry.
Sure.
Wait, I think they're better than what we think.
There are weapons on that offense, like you said. Jerry Jeudy, Quinshawn, was it Quinshawn Johnson, the second-round running back? Thank you. Yes, that was my bad. I screwed that one up. Like their tight ends. You got David Njoku. You got Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver. Fannin. There are some weapons on that team, and I think they're building what could be I don't want to say contender, right? But a competitor. It's not just going to be the same old Browns. Well, let me ask this question then. Are the Packers worse than we think? Were we all hyped up too much after a 2-0 start and the wins against the head? But are they worse than we think? Billy, I want to get your thoughts on this about the Packers. What are you thinking?
No, I don't think so. I think they just laid an egg. And Jordan Love had just a ton of mistakes, just really was making some poor decisions, but we still have one of the top defenses in the league.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
What the fuck is that, Luca? Oh, man.
It's my new hat.
I fell for love like a fool.
I'm just surprised you spelled all those words right. You didn't see that there's 2 sides of a paper bag.
I didn't see that. The backside didn't work.
4-letter words are tricky,
Jeez. Here, let's highlight that. Okay. Now we can see you for sure. Nice. Oh boy.
No, I deserve to wear this
Yeah?
week. Um,
I love how you cut out a little spot.
I
for your
was so
beard.
high on love. I was willing to fight you guys constantly. It's supposed to be for my mouth, but
Oh.
didn't quite work.
It looks just like it's for the beard now, not gonna lie. Well, okay, Luca. How bad is Jordan Love? I want to get your thoughts on this first because you were, in fact, the one guy that was all about Jordan Love. So this is, Luca, this is your 15 seconds to shine here. What do you got?
I battle you guys all the time, and it hurts. Love hurts when you go and you just need to throw the ball away and you don't, and you take a sack. When all you need to do is not throw it into double and triple coverage for an interception. Like, the things I thought were good are good, but the other side is real bad. The IQ is missing on a whole nother level. And man, I'm sad.
Yeah, it's I wasn't sure we would see this side of you about Jordan Love. I think the discussions need to be had. And Billy, I'd like to see your thoughts on this too, now that we've heard from the love fool, Luca. So
I'm glad Luke is owning up to it because I was actually getting a little angry with him on Sunday because we were going back and forth in our group text and saying, Love sucks, he sucks, maybe whatever. And then Luca's response was, I'm starting to question if you guys know football. And my response was like, well, fuck you. I think we're going to kick you off the podcast until you get cool.
Yep.
You are now cool again. So
Yep. Somehow you're back.
All jokes aside, Love has the skill. He has the talent. I think someone commented on our videos on one of the social media platforms and pretty much said that you can't just say Jordan Love's going to be good because of the mentor, the teacher, whatever. But then, whatever, we were responding and saying like he had a good teacher, but he actually had the work ethic to implement what he was taught. That I can respect. That's good. But there's sometimes you can just tell that he just isn't experienced in some situations where he just is making bad decisions. Yeah. And then you throw in the underthrowing or the overthrowing, like we've discussed, and it's a kind of a recipe for disaster. And I think all those negatives of his game were on display against the Browns.
Absolutely. And if I can add to that, so from being a person, again, my coaching experience is just at the youth football level, right? But having played, having coached, being a armchair quarterback, a couch GM, just the things that I pretend to know, right? Is what I see a quarterback who right now is scared. He's scared of the blitz. He does not know how to read the blitz. Have you seen this guy take a 7-step drop after being in the shotgun? You're already 14 yards back, basically. Like, that's not what you do. When you see the blitz coming, you're looking for the quick dump-offs, right? You're looking in the flats for the most part. Even if your running back is chipping one of the blitzers coming through, whatever. Anyway, he can't read the blitz. That's one of his big problems. And you're seeing it, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like the Browns are blitzing quite a bit. And we've seen this a lot lately too, as teams are figuring out blitz Jordan Love. When you don't blitz Jordan Love, he's going to get the ball off. And now I've said this, and we've had our fights. Jordan Love has been bailed out by his wide receivers, even though his receivers drop a ton of balls, right? He's been bailed out time and time again because he underthrows his receivers. He does not know how to lead his receivers. And finally, Jordan Love is just a terrible quarterback from Utah. That's it. Okay. Thoughts, anyone? Thoughts? Well, no, okay, think about this. He wasn't even good at Utah. He wasn't even good at Utah. I don't know how he got through the combine as well as he did, made it through his discussions with the Green Bay Packers, and they're like, you know what? That's the one right there, Jordan Love. Like, how? So I don't know what that process looks like. I can just say these things because you know what? I can. So fuck you all. Go ahead. All right. Well, okay. So let's move on from Jordan Love. Because we do know that he's just not good. Let's talk about what actually happened this weekend that has only been done in one other time. And it was NFL Sunday, where we had four blocked kicks in 1 week. And these, whether they're extra points, I think they're all field goals. But this has only been done one other time. And we're going to talk about three of them because those were the ones that were just the way they ended those games or how they affected the ending of the games was insane. So let's break this down one by one. Let's start with the Packers and Browns. We did see the Packers going to kick a field goal, and that getting blocked by the Browns, which then led to the Browns getting in field goal position themselves to win the game. How did you guys feel after that blocked kick? Because, I mean, do we feel like, are we Chicago Bears fans now? Like, what is this? So walk me through your feelings as you're seeing this unfold live. Billy, what were your thoughts about what happened Sunday with the Packers Browns?
We just put the blocked field goal. I mean, it was just kind of like, of course, we couldn't get anything cooking on offense. And our kicker's been solid so far. Then I see the block and it's like, oh, of course. That was really all. I was just like, swear at the TV.
All right, Luca, how are you feeling at that moment as the block kick was happening?
What's next? Simple as that. What's next? What else could happen?
Okay, yeah, I mean, right, like, here we go. And it was just one of those things that's like, what? So not only did we watch that, okay, I know in my household, we quick switched the TV over to the Eagles-Rams, where all of a sudden Jordan Davis busts through because the Rams were going to kick a field goal to win the game. They were down 27-26, going to kick the game-winning field goal. Jordan Davis of the Eagles busts through the line, blocks the field goal, recovers the field goal block, and runs it in for a touchdown. Like, huh? So that's number two. And this is just within minutes of each other, right? So did you guys get a chance to watch that? And what were your thoughts of that? Because there's a neat little stat on that one. Billy, what were your thoughts on Jordan Davis and that block kick?
Well, Jordan Davis remind me, who was that? The Eagles?
Eagles, yep.
Well, so with the Packers-Browns game being kind of bad, I was flipping between commercial breaks to Red Zone.
Okay.
And watching that. So I actually saw it live. On the Red Zone thing. Well, live, whatever you want to call it. I saw it not on a highlight. I saw it on Red Zone. And I was just like, again, same thing. I was like, go figure. Eagles are going to get bailed out on this again. And it was a very athletic play for that big dude. He hit like 18 miles per hour or something on that.
That was what I was going to bring up.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Didn't mean to take
it. That's fine. Jordan
I was
Davis,
like, big boy could move on
18 miles an hour. Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Luke, oh, sorry. Go ahead. I don't know if you're finished.
Wow.
I was going to say, I was rooting for the Rams in that one. And
yeah. Not that I wanted the Rams to gain momentum and be a good football team, but I really did want to see the Eagles lose. So, Luca, what were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I thought the Rams had it. They're going to shove it down the Eagles' throat. I was so happy. And then every single time I turned it back to the game, I'm like, oh, fuck. Here we go. And then to see all the Philly fans cheering and everything, I'm over it.
Well, didn't they come back from like 26-7 or something like that to win that game? They were down like 20 points or something like that. It was crazy comeback on the Eagles' end. So. Well, then let's talk about the other game, which was probably the most visually aesthetic, most appealing game there was. Billy, you're wearing the hat. But the Buccaneers and the Jets. So as you see in the picture, the Buccaneers were going for a field goal, and the Jets blocked it and picked it up, and they also ran it in for a touchdown, I believe. And they were up by 1 after this. So that gave Baker like a minute to bring it down the field, and they kicked the game winner field goal. But this was right after that one. Here's another block. So just again, what do we think is going on with these block kicks? Is the NFL figuring out how to block kicks now? Is there like the tush push? Are they jumping the lineman again? What are they doing? What did the NFL figure out? Billy, I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are about the increase in blocked kicks.
You know, I said the same thing when I was watching all this on Red Zone. I was like, man, how many blocked field goals are we going to have in here? And even the week before, you had 2 punt returns for a touchdown. It's like, man, what is going on with special teams?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a coincidence. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to, just a coincidence, because nothing really stood out to me. I mean, I think on one and whatever game it was, like one of the whatever jumped over the snapper.
Mm-hmm.
So that one didn't count. I think I'm just going to chalk it up to just being a coincidence. And I'll say when on that Jets blocked field goal, that coach looked so cool. He was dancing on the sideline. The way he danced, I'm like, this guy looks rad.
Yeah,
then,
Aaron Glenn, yep.
But it's so funny. Like, you're not going to be dancing long, motherfucker, because I knew Baker was going to come down the field. I'm like, all they needed was a field goal. So I'm like, he could do it.
Here comes Baker.
Yeah.
Luca, what are your thoughts? What's with the uptick? You got anything that you know as a Chicago Bears GM?
Oh boy. Being honest, I thought like when snapped the ball, people just like on the defense weren't trying at all. So I think maybe the offense got a little lackluster too. Like, they're not going to actually try to block it, but I don't know. They were blocking it. I don't know if it's like trajectory, angle, blah blah blah, physics and all that stuff. But man, yeah, there was quite a few, and I'm trying to think of the distances of how far away they were on them, if that mattered at all. But it was cool to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was. I don't know the last time we've seen that. I forgot what year it was. Thought it was back in the 90s. I don't actually know. So, but it was another wild weekend in the NFL, and even so much so the fact that on Monday night, the Detroit Lions like beat up on the Ravens. Did not expect that. Did we underestimate the Lions? Did we like get rid of them too soon? Seems like they're back to clicking on all cylinders here. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that last Monday night game we just had?
We jumped the gun by our shit talking on Lions, but of course we're going to do that because we're Packers fans and they're NFC North rivals, and they've had our number. So of course we jumped the gun, and even one of those people commented on one of our videos saying like, you know, oh, we're good, whatever. You know what? Yeah. You probably are, pal. But you still lost to the Bears. No, you didn't lose to the Bears. You lost to us.
The Packers.
Yeah. The fuck. You lost to us. So, yeah, we probably jumped the gun. Lamar Jackson sucks. I mean, he got sacked 7 times last night.
Yeah.
All I needed was DeAndre Hopkins to get 21 yards in receiving, and I would have won the bet that I placed, and I didn't. So fuck Lamar Jackson. You know, again, and all Lamar jokes aside, I feel like unless the line, correct me if I'm wrong or give me a different opinion, but like unless the Lions secondary was just that good, they're locking down the receivers. But he could not throw the ball to anybody. He did not have time in the pocket. 7 sacks. And of course, Lamar does what he wants to do. He's, going to drop back. And if he doesn't have an immediate throw, he's going to try to fucking run. So it's just, that run first mentality. I watched that game too. It just frustrated. I'm just like,
It was a frustrating Sunday and Monday. So, Luca, what about you? Any last thoughts on Monday night?
Yeah, I think the defensive, pretty much the Lions just needed a quick minute to gel together, and you saw it. In week 2, their dicks got bigger and swelled up. Week 3, they just let them out there to show everybody. And holy crap, watch out for that defensive line. Like anytime Lamar tried to run out of the pocket, he was getting taken down from behind. That defensive line has got to be like the best, the absolute best in football.
Could be. Absolutely could be. You said something there, having like a big dick. 1, I don't know what that's like, but 2, a buddy of mine, Billy, we bowled him. I want to shout out Tim Henry here real quick. Just a friend of ours. diagnosed with prostate cancer. Go get him. You got this. So he went from having like a 12-inch dick to like a 10-inch dick. So, he's still swinging that big gold thing around with his big dick energy. So awesome guy. Go get him, Tim. Just wanted to throw that out there. So you need anything, you got us. So on that note, I would like to transition. We spent a lot of time on football. If you guys are okay with it, just spend a little bit of time on baseball. Being homers, there was actually something really cool that happened over the weekend. The Brewers did clinch the NL Central Division Championship, our third year in a row.
Oh, wow.
So not often seen. Brewers are NL Central champs. So back to the playoffs again, but back to back NL Central champs. Congratulations, Milwaukee Brewers. All in all, they've had a really great year. The Cubs are going to finish in second. The Cincinnati Reds are going to finish in third. And now the Reds have actually hopped into the sixth seed right now in the wild card. But the Brewers have also locked themselves into the number 1 or number 2 seed going into their final 5 games of the year. Either way, we're in the NLDS. We got a little bit of time. The guys can rest a little bit. So I think we're going to see a lot of our guys come back healthy, which I got a note on that in a little bit. But just initial reactions to the Milwaukee Brewers, guys. What are you thinking? Luca, you're a big Brewer fan. I want to give you a little bit of time here to go. What are your thoughts on the Brewers clinching the 2025 NL Central Championship?
It's awesome. I just hope everybody comes back healthy and they're ready to go. I love the fact that we're going to get a first-round bye. That could not be the most amazing thing ever for us to get a little bit more rest and have a little bit more home field advantage. We are quite good at home. I'm excited to see what the playoffs bring. You run a 3-man rotation, and to have those extra guys to come on in at any given point with one of the best bullpens. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I just hope everybody shows up.
That's always the key, right? Billy, what are your initial reactions with the Brewers winning their back-to-back NL Central Division championships?
Anytime they finish above the Cubs is a good season.
Hell yeah, go get them.
Super pumped for it. I hope they can, T West, you said it kind of good the other day when they lost the Rangers or whatever it was. And hopefully they're not backpedaling into the playoffs.
Right.
The one thing I'll say is that when I watched the locker room or speech, is it called locker room? Whatever it's called. The locker room speech by Pat Murphy, and then when Yelich got up and spoke.
Oh, Clubhouse.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And your 5-second delay threw me off.
No, I'm delayed. I had to think about it for a little bit.
I know. I'm kidding. When Pat Murphy was giving his speech in the clubhouse, and then when Christian Yelich got up there and started speaking, it actually really resonated with me on what a team leader Christian Yelich is. I don't think I've ever really heard or listened to him really speak and address the team like that. So it was kind of cool to hear him speak and all the good things that he had to say and how special October baseball was. And always was a fan, but just grew a little bit more respect for him just to kind of see him take that leadership role now that he's kind of one of the older ones in the team. So I'm pumped. Let's go and let's go deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying it all along this year. Even I think we can go back a few podcasts where I did say the Brewers were going to have a really good year this year, along with the Detroit Tigers in the AL. I had a feeling we didn't really lose much, right? Like we lost Willie Adames, but again, we backfilled with Joey Ortiz and Caleb Durbin. We had a really good, strong, hot corner. The pitching has been outstanding this year. It's just one of those things where I didn't think we went backwards. I thought we got better. The trade of Devin Williams, I think, has absolutely worked out for the Brewers. You got Caleb Durbin, you got another player, and you got like $2 million in cash considerations. I mean, that $2 million in cash considerations went a long way. So great on them. But what I will say is that this is an unprecedented time for us Milwaukee Brewers fans. Where we grew up with the 80s and the 90s, we didn't get to see 82. we got to see the fallout and everything that happened in the 80s. And then, we saw the 90s and we saw the early 2000s when it was just bad. And, now that we've made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 years and back to back to back NL Central, this is unprecedented for us. I actually don't know how to feel. I think I'm afraid we're getting complacent with winning the division. And that in itself is a hard task over 160 games, 162 game season to win the division, much less 3 times in a row when you have organizations like the Cubs and the Cardinals, always chomping at your heels. So it's amazing to me that we're doing this. Good on them. And if there's 1 year to just do it, it's this one. It was that whole Pat Murphy speech with the letter from Bob Uecker. Not a dry eye. It's like this is the one. Give it everything you got. Get to that point. This is it. So that's what I can say. And I'm like, I get goosebumps thinking about the opportunity the Brewers have this year. So, however, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them if we don't have all of our guys back. But a quick update on that. Just saw this note this is from a reporter, Christina Laurie. She talks about there is some good news that we're probably going to have Trevor McGill back. We're probably going to have Logan Henderson, although I wasn't a big fan of Logan Henderson this year. We're going to have DL Hall probably back. So we're going to get those 2 guys back. We're probably not going to see Jose Quintana unless he's able to get off that 15-day DL in time. But I don't think he'll make the roster, right? He'll be left off the NLDS roster. Maybe he'll make the CS roster. The one that worries me here, though, is Brandon Woodruff. An in-person appointment with his surgeon again. So he was out on the 15-day DL with his lad again. Now, they retrospected it to September 18th, which would get him back in time for the wild card if he's healthy. But the fact that he went to go see his surgeon is worrisome, all the way in Dallas. So he flew to Dallas to go get a look, and that worries me a little bit because he just had a really great outing, and now he's hurt again. I don't know what happened, but good luck, Brewers. Man, this is the year we do it for Uecker, and I think that's the biggest sentiment that I can give. All right, I've talked way too much. Is there anything else you guys want to finish up on the Milwaukee Brewers here?
I'm glad that you brought up the Uke, that little note. If that doesn't motivate him, I don't know what will. That was so incredible to see that, and I was like, what are the chances he'd have that in his pocket? Yeah. What are the chances that you get to read that this year after winning the division?
Yeah,
for the 3rd time. And when you said it, I didn't realize it was 3 years in a row. It doesn't feel like it. And like you said, 80 sucked, 90 sucked. A bunch of the early 2000s sucked. It was great going to Brewer games for like what, $5 a ticket back in the day.
Oh yeah,
and only had maybe 10,000 people there at most. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's such a different world when we're just fighting to get tickets to go to a sellout game, and we're complaining because of how much we have to pay for them now.
Right, it's hard to get there now.
An honor, yeah, it's an honor to have that. So
I agree 100%.
Tell you what, Brewers make the World Series. I'm coming back home for a game. Simple as that. Putting it down now.
We've absolutely talked about what is our budget to get to a Brewers World Series game if we get that chance. And I don't know if we can say no to, it's like, let's just, if we can at least get standing room even, just be there and feel that electricity. So, well, boys, it's that time in the episode where we start shutting down the bar. You guys got anything you'd like to finish with? One last shot, one last call up.
I'll say something before Luca makes it weird. We've been getting a lot of people responding on social media to the stuff we're posting and our takes. Not all of it's good. I still like the interaction. So
yeah,
there's no wrong way to analyze something unless you're just way off about something. But we all have an opinion. I really appreciate the people that take the time to comment because they say things or they bring up points that I never would have even thought of. So
Yeah.
Thank you for checking it out. Thank you for taking the time to give your 2 cents because we do listen to it and we will respond. So thanks for staying engaged.
Well said.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Yep. And I guess
Go ahead,
I
Luke.
gotta agree. I gotta agree with the one little bit of feedback where I was like, "Thank you, Brian Thomas Jr. for not getting laid out." The guy's like, "Nah, man, let him die. Let them all die out there."
Saw
I was
that.
like,
Saw that. Yeah.
"Well said.
What
Well
they get
said,
paid
sir."
for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Luca, was that it? Do you want to add anything else? All right. Well, then.
Got one more thing.
Oh boy.
I would like to thank Garbage Time this year for fantasy football. Garbage Time ended up giving me a chance to come back from being down by 45 to my wife and beating her in fantasy football.
You're gonna have to
Thank you,
remind us who
Lamar.
Garbage Time is.
Lamar Jackson throwing that touchdown pass to Brick Hands, Mark Andrews, got me the dub.
Okay. Nice. Hey, well, good job beating your wife. Say that again. Good job beating your wife. I don't know if I can get. Good job beating your wife in fantasy football because we all know she probably beats the shit out of you. So,
Well,
all right. I got one
it
last
happens
thing.
every time. Every time we beat our wives in fantasy football, it never ends up good for us.
It's a domestic abuse case. Anyway, I thought you guys might like this. Just an FYI, another public service announcement. B-dubs right now, 20 boneless wings, large fries, and 4 dips for $16.99. Hell yeah. We're not sponsored by B-dubs. I'm just really hungry and I wanted to bring this up. So anyway, now this might only be Buffalo Wild Wings Go. I don't know if it's like in stores or not. But anyway, go get some B-dubs, y'all. I'm in the mood for B-dubs. So
Me too.
all right, on that note, we're going to shut down the bar. We're going to shut down the BRP podcast for the week. Fellas, thanks for coming along. Thanks for having a few drinks, laughs, cries, and all in all, life. All right, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Lucas, say something stupid.
Or look stupid.
That's better.
Tuning into the boat. Let's get it. Let's get it.